Well, it's the change of season. We could feel it in the morning. It's a little bit darker in the morning, a little cooler. Jan, you know, we love the change of seasons because it brings a whole new kind of chores or activities in the garden and in the kitchen.
Sure, sure. Well, I've always canned from the first strawberry to the last head of cabbage, but I don't as much anymore. But we still make cider.
Well, how fun.
We have a cider press. We have 4 apple trees that are really producing this year. Some are really small apples, so it's easy to make. To justify making cider out of them, you just throw them in the hopper, grind them up, and it falls in the bottom. Then you put the lid on and crank it down and press it out, and you have this kind of cider right here, your homemade cider.
And it's really tasty. We did have some earlier.
It is good. It is good.
And how much fun to do that with the kids or the neighbors. It's really a fun activity.
Well, we had the whole neighborhood in a week ago. And to pick our apples because we had so many, and we had 22 people here making cider and picking apples. So
many hands make it go fast.
Right, exactly. And then my grandkids each caught a salmon, and I haven't used a smoker in a long time, but they each caught and had 2 big bags full of salmon fillets. So we smoked those, and I have a little Big Chief smoker here, and this is all that's left of our share. It's if you want to try some, you can.
All right.
It's really good smoked salmon. So you brine it first, and then smoke it. And there, you can smoke cheese, hard cheeses. You have to watch it so it doesn't melt through all of the little racks.
Right.
But it doesn't take long, and you've got smoked cheese.
But another way of preserving a different kind of harvest, but something to keep in mind.
Yeah, with fish or anything else.
And I love this. It's an antique peeler and corer.
Apple peeler corer.
It makes it really easy.
It does if the apples are still firm. If they start to get soft, this doesn't work very well. But it works very well for pies, and I make sauce, and then if you want to go to the trouble of making chunky sauce, that's fine, but I use the apple peeler corer. Then I put the sieve in the bottom of my food mill, and then this goes in here, and then it just takes out all of the apple core, anything else that you might have missed, any skin or anything, and out it comes in the bottom. This is a food mill, and it comes with 3 different sieves on it. You can do whatever you want with it.
You could have fine, or you could have a chunky, or whatever your family likes.
It isn't too chunky, but it's still good. And this is a food saver that you can, and it's like Seal a Meal food saver. There's a lot of different commercial names, but that's what we did with some of the salmon, fresh salmon fillets. Was we sealed it in bags so that it would stay in the freezer longer. Oh,
nice. Because it's so nice to have this in the middle of the wintertime, be it vegetables or the salmon.
Right.
You can go in the refrigerator and have those tastes of summer.
Or if you run across a good deal on meat, and you can break it up, a family pack or whatever, it doesn't make a difference. If there's 2 in your family or 10, it's still a good way to do it.
Yeah, and you don't get that freezer burn.
Right.
And then what's this machine?
This is a dehydrator.
Ah, cool.
I haven't started using it yet this year, but you can slice apples. I've done bananas. I've done oranges so that you could use different citrus fruits as a decoration, say for Christmas time or in a potpourri or something. You can use a dehydrator for most anything. And here's the kind of sheet that you can make a fruit leather on.
Okay. Oh,
so it's solid. Then you make your puree. I could use the applesauce, put it on here, and then dehydrate it, and then end up with an apple fruit leather.
Oh, yum.
It's the same flavor as an applesauce.
And it's more healthy than getting it at the store. There's no preservatives.
Right, and you can control how much sugar you have in it.
Oh, definitely.
Well, if you go to all the trouble of preserving things, of dried beans or dried foods, many of us have trouble with birdseed, dog food, all sorts of things. You end up with the Indian meal moth. And this is a safer trap.
Okay.
But safer is not the only one that puts them out. Okay. There's a BioGuard, or there's a number of different ones. It's a pheromone trap that only attracts the male moth, so it's not considered a pesticide per se that you're putting in your kitchen.
In your house, right, of course.
And so lately I had an infestation in the kitchen. It's hard for me to admit this, of course, but this trap works. And so all it does, it completely disrupts the life cycle, and then and it's safe to put right in with your food, your dried goods, your whatever.
And it happens. It's not that we're not clean people or anything, but it just happens because that's the nature of having things in your kitchen.
Right. And if you have a breakout, clean things out. If you have it in rice, you can freeze the rice.
Right.
Clean it, or dispose of things. But if you have some really good tight seal containers, that they can't get in.
Right. And then where do you get these traps? You can go to Independent Garden Center, hardware
Garden
store.
centers, yeah, most places have them. Some grocery stores are carrying them now.
And then to the bounty of the harvest. My gosh, you really have beautiful things here.
I just picked this morning. These are some Asian pears that we have that we throw in with the cider pressing, and then a number of different varieties of tomatoes.
They're so beautiful.
Here's that really pretty one. That's the indigo rose. And let's see, there's a ripe one there.
So
this one isn't ripe yet. It's still green on the back side. So you want to wait till they turn.
Okay, that's good to know because they're so dark. You just
you don't know. And the only part of it that's going to turn dark is the part that's exposed to sunlight.
Okay.
So the back side that's not, or the inside of the plant is not going to turn that dark.
Ah, well, that's a good tip. Well, you know, Jan, there is an 800 number that we'll have on the screen, so if you have any questions about canning, because we didn't even get to canning, but that's another whole other story. But
there's a lot of experts that can help you with that.
Right, but sometimes we don't talk about the other ways to preserve fruit, and really you want to preserve your vegetables and your fruits so you can enjoy them later in the season when we're shut in and we're just craving that kind of taste of summer. So thank you so much for all the information.
Well, the Preservation Hotline can help you with any of this. It's not just the canning.
You're right.
They can help you know how to brine fish or what, you know. OSU Extension has an enormous number of bulletins that'll give you exactly how to do it.
Right. Well, thanks again.
Okay.